Good evening and welcome to your 2039 Perfect League World Series coverage. I'm your host, DRC, and I am really amped up for this one. We've got a lot going on tonight. We've got a great World Series to call. We've got some other things to share with you that are brand new, and I couldn't be more excited to bring it to you. But how are you guys doing tonight? I see we've already got 171 of my closest friends in the chat. How's everyone doing? I see a lot of TBD. I see Warhawk saying that he's going to be playing around dinner at his parents' place. We got a lot going on. And frankly, we've only got 16 minutes to set it up before we get to our first sim. So we are going to get right to it. But I hope you guys are doing great. Hope this weekend is treating you well. Hope you had something that brightened up your weekend and got you ready for the week that will be. But before we talk about the week that will be, let's talk about the week that was. And what you're looking at here on your screen is the Perfect League bracket. And that's going to tell you, it's going to tell you who we're watching tonight. It's going to tell you who's playing, who's featured in this Perfect League World Series. It's the Las Vegas White Tigers versus the Carolina Reapers. I mean, this week in Perfect League was pretty brutal. A lot of good teams, a lot of back and forth action. I mean, the wild card race just to get into the postseason was ridiculous. It required multiple days of tiebreakers just to get into the postseason. And here's who's left standing after a brutal Saturday evening and a brutal Sunday afternoon. So Las Vegas White Tigers, Carolina Reapers, we're going to preview both teams for you and give you an opportunity to guess who you think's going to win. But there's also another way to interact with this stream, to interact with this tournament bracket here. So I came up with a galaxy brain idea late last night, and we rolled it out. We rolled it out quickly. We rolled it out arguably haphazardly, but it worked. It worked well, and we sent out blank tournament brackets. I'm going to share one for you right now. Let me pop one up here. All right. So here's what we're looking at. So we sent out brackets this morning within the Perfect League Discord, both in the Perfect League channel as well as the general channel, and gave people the opportunity to guess who they thought was going to win. So everyone filled out their bracket, and it scored just like a typical March Madness bracket. You get 1 point for a correct answer in the first round, 2 points for a correct answer in the second round, 4 in the third, and then 8 in the final round if someone were to get this matchup right. Now, what we learned is that as a community, we're pretty terrible at filling out these brackets, as most brackets were busted before we even got out of the first round. But we do have and will have updates at the conclusion of the game tonight to determine who won. And then for tonight's bracket challenge, for tonight's Perfect League bracket challenge, that winner is going to be taking home 25,000 perfect points. Stay tuned. During the week, we'll likely formalize what that program is going to look like going forward. But for tonight's action, whoever comes out on top of the bracket challenge, 25,000 perfect points. So if you want to participate in that next week, keep your eye on the Perfect League channel and on the PT22 general channel in the Discord somewhere between midnight Saturday night and 11 a.m. Central Time Sunday morning. That'll be the window that you have to fill out this bracket. It's a lot tighter than you get for your March Madness bracket, but that's because this bracket's not known until around or shortly after midnight on Saturday night, and these sims start right up 11 a.m. Central Time on Sundays. But that's something that you can definitely plug into and give yourself a free chance to win some perfect points. Frankly, just blindly filling out and randomly clicking names wouldn't be the worst strategy. Also, I've got some new charts tonight. I've got some new stuff to share with you. One of them is actually showing in the bottom right corner right now. This is the market share by position chart that I put together. And so what I'm displaying here, and I know it's small, I know it's going to be somewhat hard to read. I'll also share these in the Discord or in DMs if anyone is curious. But I'm tracking the overall positional market share by player. And so as you can see from this chart, Oscar Charleston, who at one time was rocking 79% of total center field plate appearances, has now seen that degrade down to 49%. And the biggest beneficiary, the biggest growth coming from Curt Flood, who is now up to 33% of total Perfect League plate appearances. And as you can see, growing up in yellow at the very bottom of this chart, we have Paul Hines starting to catch up as well. So rare tournament card Paul Hines now up at 8%, which is good for third most played center fielder in Perfect League. And we'll be looking at some other visualizations as the broadcast goes. All right, so let's jump in. Let's first take a look at our Carolina Reapers and see what they're about. So we will follow the same path that we always follow. We'll start with runs scored and runs allowed. And as we look at this team, they are 9th in the league in runs scored, so just above average. And then from a runs allowed perspective, 8th in the league, just above average as well there. You put the two together, we're looking at just over a positive 20 run differential, which is not elite by any stretch, but it can get you by and it can get you hot at the right times. And as you know him on the Discord as Mick Shipman, he has timed it well, gotten hot in the playoffs. Now, as we look at the defense here, this is not a team that is defense first. The defensive efficiency down at .693, the overall zone rating at negative 16.8, both of those below average marks, the zone rating one of the lower marks within the conference. So a team that's more looking to out-hit you than out-glove you. As we look at home road, this is where things get really interesting. Now, I saw in Perfect League this week more teams able to win on the road than I feel like I've ever seen before. And it was really close to home for me. I actually won 50 games on the road this week. I've never done that in Perfect League. I've never seen anyone else do it either. And Carolina Reapers almost did that same thing. 49 wins on the road, good for a .604 win percentage, and they were actually under 500 at home. So 40-41 team at home, 49-32 on the road. Not a phenomena that we have really ever seen on these broadcasts. So the next logical question is, well, what is the ballpark? How can we start to explain what's going on here? And we're looking at a lefty cheese park. So lefty average is maxed up, lefty homers maxed up, righty average and homers both minimum. And then from an extra bases that stay in the park perspective, we've got doubles completely maxed out and then triples cooking at a factor of 1.055. So interesting stuff seen within the home road split for the Carolina Reapers running a lefty cheese team. Now, as we look at the build, the players that you have on the roster here, you're going to see what is a tournament special edition card laden roster. So you've got the John McGraw, which often sells for over 1 million perfect points. You've got the Paul Hines, which has sold for well over that number. We've got the Cupid Childs as well. Cupid Child's not cheap in his own right. So 3 very expensive, very difficult to acquire tournament special edition cards in those 3. And then adding to that, you've got Willie Keeler and Bill Dickey, a couple of difficult to find packable 100s. And then you've got Tim Raines in left field over someone like a Ned Hanlon. Interesting from that decision, given the ballpark here. You got Arkey Vaughn at short instead of like a Dave Bancroft. And then Wander Franco manning third base. We look at the rotation, and what you'll see when you come here is that over the course of the whole season, you had nothing but lefties taking starts. So Noodles Hahn, Jerry Royce, Tom Glavine locked into the rotation, and then filling out the 4th and 5th spots in the rotation, you had Clayton Kershaw, Johan Santana, and Eddie Plank with varying degrees of success. So that's the rotation. As far as the bullpen goes, you had 2 arms getting more run than any others, and that was Pedro Martinez and Adam Wainwright. Martinez just missed 100 innings pitched at 98, had a great season as a back-end closer, stopper type. And then you had Adam Wainwright at 90 innings himself, a very low 2.3 ERA. So you see with the Reapers here, you have lefties in the rotation, feeding into righties in the bullpen. Now let's look at the playoff path that the Carolina Reapers took to this point. We have the Reapers taking down Maine Whiskey Tango, denying us that Nomad Whiskey Tango rematch in the World Series that everyone was rooting for. So the Reapers knock out Maine Whiskey Tango round 1. They take out Susmanja's Albany Senators in round 2, and then took down the Soda Springs Titans in 5 games in the third round, the semis. Now let's look at the team history for Mick Shipman. So this is really interesting. We have a team that was created and then hung around in rookie for 3 seasons. From rookie, move on up to Stone, and hang around Stone for 5 seasons. That 5th season in Stone saw this team get put together and then rip off an incredible run. 117 wins in Stone, 126 in Iron, 123 in Bronze, 113 in Silver, 121 in Gold, and then just 1 single season in Diamond. 106 wins and a World Series championship to boot. And so at this point in time, Mick Shipman has now spent more time in Perfect than he did in Diamond. 1 week in Diamond, 2 in Perfect, and he's guaranteed himself a 3rd next week. So interesting stuff there. So those are your Carolina Reapers. Now let's take a look at the Las Vegas White Tigers. Now the White Tigers are managed by Warhawk, and we'll follow that same path into breaking down this matchup. We've got 5 minutes here until game time. So we'll start with runs scored, 9th in the league at 729. Runs allowed, 685. So both teams playing tonight were 9th in their conference in runs scored. Both teams playing tonight were 8th in their conference in runs allowed. Now, Warhawk had a slightly better run differential here. You see that he's cooking here around 45 instead of 20, but very similar contextual rankings within their own respective conferences. Now, the defense for Warhawk, slightly stronger here than Mick Shipman. You see the defensive efficiency right at that 0.7 mark that we target. We see the zone rating just underwater at negative 1.1, one of the better marks in the conference. Now, from a home-road split perspective, we see something that's a whole lot more familiar on these streams. We see a good home record, 46 wins, 567 win percentage. And then on the road, trading paint, 41 and 40, 1 game over 500. And then startling consistency. Look at the calendar. I've never seen this before. 14 wins in April, 14 in May, 14 in June, 14 in July, 14 in August, and then he broke the script in September. Was able to get that 15th win and then closed out the season with a couple more. Found himself in the playoffs. So let's look at the ballpark. So the White Tigers are not running a completely neutral park, but it's close to it. So the average is neutral both ways, 1.0 park factor. The doubles are 1, the triples are 1. But the home runs is where Warhawk deviates a slight bit here. Brings the home runs for both sides down equally, down 5%, down to 0.95. So Warhawk looking for that neutral ballpark experience where you're taking off just a touch of home runs. Let's look at the build. Let's look at the players. So with neutral teams, you see more variety in terms of how they're building their versus right versus left lineup. And as we look at the Las Vegas White Tigers here, we see a couple of interesting choices, a couple of interesting player acquisitions. We do have another Paul Hines here. So this is going to be a Paul Hines on both sides World Series. Don't know if we've had that yet, but that's very interesting. We also see Wade Boggs in at DH. Wade Boggs, arguably I shouldn't say arguably, Wade Boggs lost a lot of his helium when Wander Franco dropped. But we see that Warhawk sticking with him here. I'll go ahead and pop up the third base market share chart. And you see Wade Boggs has kind of been steady and consistent around that 14% mark. He's the light blue line here. Whereas Wander Franco has gobbled up a ton of market share since dropping. He's now all the way up to 53% of third base plate appearances. Let's look at the... Oh, another thing I wanted to call out here is we've got Mike Piazza. So the catcher defense hive will tell you that you can't win with this type of catcher ability. And Warhawk is here to tell you that you can. Warhawk rocking Mike Piazza. He got 312 plate appearances, so effectively getting 50% of the overall catcher plate appearances here. And this team is in the Perfect League World Series. So Mike Piazza part of this build. Now let's check out the path. How did Warhawk get here? So Warhawk, in the first round, the Las Vegas White Tigers took down the Edmonton Whales in straight sets. 3 games, 3 wins. And then they avenged my death in the second round. Bob Loblaw's Loblogs go down to the White Tigers in 5 games. Their first real test came in the third round against the Chad Golden Rumps. They found themselves up in the series 2-0 to only quickly find themselves down 3-2, but were able to cap it off with a couple of wins in Game 6 and Game 7 to earn their way here. Now, what that means is that they did require 7 wins to get here. 7 games to get here. And so their bullpen a whole lot more taxed than the Carolina Reapers. Their rotation not nearly as set up as well. So we'll see if that's a factor here tonight. So one other thing I wanted to point out, I don't want to navigate to the screen and accidentally spoil something, but from a history perspective, the Las Vegas White Tigers, this is their second week in Perfect League. This is their second time making the playoffs. However, those are not contiguous weeks. They played in an early rendition of the Perfect League where you not only needed to make the playoffs, but you needed to win the wild card round to stay, and they did not. So Warhawks White Tigers made the Perfect League playoffs, played in the wild card game, lost in the wild card game, and were sent back down to Diamond despite being a playoff team. Now we know that in the present rendition, as the league is now fully built, anyone who makes the playoffs gets to stick around for the coming week, but that was not the case in the early Perfect League builds, and so Warhawk had to earn his way back. He won Diamond last week, and he's here this week trying to win Perfect. All right, that is it. That's everything. So we can now get to Game 1. So we'll go ahead and stream on Be Right Back mode. We'll find Game 1, and we will jump right into it. We're going to start this series at the Carolina Reapers. Now, we know that the Reapers play at that Lefty Cheese ballpark, so we'll need to keep that in mind as we watch this one and as we set expectations. So the Reapers are going to trot out Jerry Royce to start this game. Now, Royce is going to face a lineup that's got 4 lefties, 2 righties, and 3 switch hitters in Rose, Franco, and Tim Raines. Before we do this, I'm going to send out the straw poll now. I'm going to spam it here in the chat. Who do you guys think is going to win? Who is going to take this one down? Is it going to be the Las Vegas White Tigers? Or is it going to be the Carolina Reapers? We are split 50-50 for early voting. We'll see how that changes. We've got Mr. Audit going with the Reapers. Alan going with the Reapers as well. Meme Lord's rooting for me. I'm telling you, Meme Lord, I'll try to get here. I would love to one day call my own World Series, but I've got to get out of the first round first. And that has proven to be more difficult than expected. CF Genesis hoping on a rage sell of Hines after whoever loses tonight. Ludwig voting or rooting for the end of Lefty Cheese. Let's see how the voting has evolved. We'll refresh that. Ooh, we've got a slight edge now for Warhawk. Warhawk at 52% of the votes. Carolina Reapers at 48%. We'll let that run for another minute. And we'll get this game started. So Jerry Royce, Carolina Reapers getting this one underway. Leading off for the White Tigers is Pete Rose. Wind and the pitch. This series is underway. It's going to start with a routine ground ball to Arkey Vaughn over at shortstop. Picks it, fires it. One up and one down here in Carolina. We now go bottom three. The first real scoring opportunity of this Perfect League World Series belongs to the Carolina Reapers. They've got men at third and second, 2 outs. And an Oscar Charleston at the plate, but look in that box score. Look in the lineup card at the bottom right of this screen. That's not any old Oscar Charleston. Why, that right there? That's a fire Oscar Charleston, and he's looking to untie this game right here. 1-1 count on him. Royce delivers, grounded to short. Arkey Vaughn picks it, throws on over to first in time, and that will end the inning. Rose and McGraw end up stranded in scoring position, and this game moves on to the fourth, still tied at 0. We go top 4. Now it's the White Tigers' first real highlight of the series. They've got Jackie Robinson aboard at first with 1 away. In the batter's box is tournament special edition card, Paul Hines. 1-0 count the pitch. Hines with a little dinker out in front of home plate. Fielded by the pitcher, throw to first, not in time. Royce did not get a ton on that throw. Had trouble getting it out of the mitt. And Paul Hines hustling down the line. Able to beat it out. That's an infield single. There are now 2 aboard and 1 away with Arkey Vaughn and Wander Franco due up. Here's Arkey Vaughn. Full count on him as he faces Jerry Royce with 1 away here in the fourth. The pitch. Runners in motion, strike him out, throw down to second, not in time. Arkey Vaughn goes down swinging as Royce went to the curveball in the full count. Fooled Vaughn, but the catcher, Jason Kendall, threw down, attempting to throw out Paul Hines at second base. The throw was late. And so a successful double steal for the White Tigers sets up a 2-out, 2 men in scoring position opportunity for Wander Franco here in the fourth. Franco finds himself down on the count 1-2, and the Carolina Reapers fans come to their feet, looking to encourage Jerry Royce out of this inning. Looking for the strikeout, looking for the pop-out, really anything. But Wander Franco finding some pasture out in the outfield. Royce ahead in the count 1-2. And the pitch. Grounded to third. Picked by Franco. He's got no play. That's an infield single for Wander Franco. Make it 1-0 White Tigers. And suck the air out of this building right away. Top 5 now. White Tigers threatening again. This time Raines and Robinson at the corners, 2 out. And Willie Keeler at the plate. Here's a great opportunity to use our matchup analyzer for the first time. So let's go ahead and pull up the statistics for Willie Keeler versus left-hand pitching, and Jerry Royce versus left-hand pitching as well. Excuse me, versus left-hand hitting. So you see in this situation, Jerry Royce definitely favored. He's got a lot more green on his side of the ledger here. Let me bring this down a little bit so you guys can see it better. There we go. We're missing the matchup analyzer part. There it is. But keep in mind, we are still in that lefty cheese ballpark. So Willie Keeler's stats are going to play up a little bit because he's a left-handed hitter, boosted by this ballpark. Jerry Royce's dominant versus left splits are going to play down a little. So in this matchup, Willie Keeler with that high average, a big-time threat here for the White Tigers. Royce comes set, delivers, and Keeler laces this one to center. That's a base hit. Scoring on the play is Raines. Heading on over to third is Robinson. He will make it, beating the throw. It is now 2-0 White Tigers here in Game 1 of the 2039 Perfect League World Series here in the 5th inning. Next batter up, Paul Hines, and Royce has fallen behind him 3-0. Hines, a deadly hitter versus left-hand pitching. We'll show you that with our matchup analyzer here. So advantage shifts from the pitcher to the hitter. With Arkey Vaughn on deck, I would not be surprised at all to see the White Tigers giving the green light here to Paul Hines. The pitch. Ball 4. Sinker misses inside. That's going to load him up for Arkey Vaughn. Big moment developing here in Game 1. We'll go ahead and pull up Arkey Vaughn here. Arkey Vaughn versus left, not a very strong hitter. But in this ballpark, all these numbers are going to play up slightly. Huge moment here in Game 1. Jerry Royce comes set. He delivers. This one's lined into right field for a base hit. Scoring is Robinson. Keeler around third. The throw, not in time. It is 4-0 White Tigers, as Arkey Vaughn comes up with a 2 RBI single. We now go bottom 7. The Las Vegas White Tigers have added an off-camera run. They are now up 5-0, but threatening for the first time are the Carolina Reapers. Carolina Reapers have first and third, 2 outs for John McGraw. McGraw, one of the best hitters in this game, left on left. He'll look to go to work against Jerry Royce. The pitch. Ball 4. That's going to load him up for Jackie Robinson. You can't hit a 5-run homer, but Jackie Robinson will have the opportunity to do the next best thing. He bats here with the bases loaded. And that's going to be it for Jerry Royce. Into this game comes Smokey Joe Wood, as the Las Vegas White Tigers looking to make sure this game doesn't get out of hand. They bring in Smokey Joe Wood to face Jackie Robinson. We'll get the matchup analyzer squared away. And the fans are on their feet looking for Jackie to do something here. Smokey Joe delivers. Lace to right field. That ball is down. 1 run will score. Holding at third is Paul Hines. And the Reapers are on the board. Make it 5-1 White Tigers. And the Reapers send the tying run to the plate. Pete Rose, the next batter. He's got a full count here. All the runners will get a head start on the play. All 3 of them great base runners in Hines, McGraw, and Robinson. Any sort of gap hit here is going to score all 3. Defensively, the White Tigers shifted around to the opposite field, leaving a boatload of room down the right field line. Smokey Joe Wood comes set. The pitch. Line drive up the middle. Base hit. Scoring is Hines. Around third comes McGraw. He will score. Make it 5-3. Pete Rose comes through with 2 outs. Oscar Charleston, the next batter. He's already had 1 highlight in this game, and now he's got a second chance. He's down on the count 1-2, but he's still wearing that fire emote. Fans on their feet. The pitch. Grounded to first. Picked by Pete Rose. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that will end the 7th inning. But not before the Carolina Reapers stack up 3 runs and take a huge bite out of the White Tigers' 5-run lead. As we head to the top of the 8th, Reapers 3, White Tigers 5. We go bottom 8, so the White Tigers make no noise in top 8. We go bottom 8. Starting off this rally for the Reapers will be Arkey Vaughn. He bats after Willie Keeler has led off the inning with an out. One away and nobody on. Smokey Joe Wood winds, delivers, and that ball is sliced into the right center field gap. Arkey Vaughn's good for extras. On his way to second. He'll slide in there. And again, the Reapers will bring the tying run to the plate. Next batter, Wander Franco. 1-0 count on him, the pitch. Fly ball right field playable. Keeler coming in. He'll make the grab. Tagging on the play and bluffing is Arkey Vaughn. He will hold at second base. Now there's 2 outs in the inning. Jason Kendall, the last hope for the Reapers to take advantage of this little mini rally here. He'll face Smokey Joe Wood. Let's look at some Jason Kendall numbers. We don't see a ton of him. Here's Jason Kendall in 800 plate appearances over the past 3 seasons in perfect. We see he's got a 599 OPS versus right-hand pitching. Full count here, the pitch. Ball 4. Kendall works a 2-out walk, which brings up Paul Hines, a much more skilled hitter and a much bigger threat to the White Tigers' lead. Here's Paul Hines versus Wright. You see a lot rosier outlook here. Slightly below water from a bat R perspective, but a 723 OPS. Same-sided is nothing to sneeze at. He'll look to come through for the Reapers here. 1-1 count, the pitch. Fly ball right field. Keeler giving chase. Back a step, back 2 steps. He'll make the grab, and that will end the inning. The Reapers threaten. They strand 2. But no score here in the 8th. Heading to the 9th. White Tigers 5, Reapers 3. Top 9 now. White Tigers in the business looking for insurance runs. They've got Pete Rose aboard at second base, 1 out. And then a fire Willie Keeler at the plate. 1-2 count on him. And he crushes this one to right. That ball will leave the yard. A fire Willie Keeler hits a 2-run homer. It's going to double the White Tiger lead from 2 to 4. Make it 7-3 White Tigers here in the 9th. We now go bottom 9, and down to their last strike are the Carolina Reapers. Smokey Joe Wood still on the hill for the White Tigers. I'll be interested to check how long he's been in this game. It's got to be approaching or even beyond 3 innings. But he's 1 strike away from putting the finishing touches on a road victory here in game number 1. Full count to Rose. Smokey Joe rocks, delivers, fly ball to left. Tim Raines is there. He'll put the squeeze on it, and the Las Vegas White Tigers have come into Carolina and stolen game number 1. By a final score of 7-3. You see them gathering out in front of home plate to celebrate. They have stolen home field advantage and will now look to push that advantage as we slide directly into game number 2. Let's update our score bug. Let's see what we can fit in here. I think we can fit Vegas. Oh, we don't want lowercase letters. There we go. That fits perfectly. Las Vegas takes game 1. Let's take a look at the box score before we move on. So let me put this on Be Right Back. Make sure we don't hit any spoilers as I navigate right back to that box score. So here's the box score for game 1. Now we'll look at Carolina first. Now it was a Royce versus Royce battle. And Las Vegas's Royce wore it better in this one. Carolina's Royce was wild with the control, 3 walks in 5 innings, only struck out 3, and yielded 8 base hits. So while he avoided the long ball, both of them did, the Carolina Royce was not able to dodge the raindrops and pitch around the base runners. 5 earned runs for Royce in 5 innings pitched. Turned it over to Hudson, who then turned it over to Santana, and then Campbell. Campbell gives up the home run late to really stretch that lead. On the Las Vegas side, you had there Jerry Royce putting in a quality start. 6 2/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. Smokey Joe Wood comes on for 2 1/3 and shuts it down. So solid pitching performance for both Jerry Royce and Smokey Joe Wood in relief as they do the tall task of coming into a city on game 1 and stealing away home field advantage. All right, we will now move and shift directly into game 2. Let me load that up. So here in game 2, we have Eddie Plank starting for the Carolina Reapers. I've got a little PTSD as I think about starting Eddie Plank. He really betrayed me in game 4 of my series this week, despite me giving him a plate of left-handed batters to face. He can really get a little lost with the control, so that's one of the things that we'll be looking for in this game. Can Eddie Plank keep the ball within the strike zone? Bad things can happen when he's stacking up walks and then not able to pitch around them. So that'll be something to look at here as the Las Vegas White Tigers work against him. Plank does a great job of limiting the home run ball, but it's the free passes that can really be his bugaboo. He'll start this game off against Pete Rose. Plank winds, delivers, ground ball to short. Arkey's going to play this one on a couple hops, throw it across, and we are underway in game number 2. 1 up and 1 down for the Reapers and Eddie Plank. We now fast forward to the bottom of the second, our first real scoring opportunity here going to the Reapers. They've got Willie Keeler aboard, Arkey Vaughn at the plate. We see that starting for the Las Vegas White Tigers is Noodles Hahn. Let's go ahead and show what he's looked like within Perfect League in our matchup analyzer. So here is Noodles Hahn complete numbers. As you see, his ERA slightly below league average, whip slightly better as well. The home run can be a bit problematic for him. A little bit worse than league average, but still under 1. He'll look to go to work against Arkey Vaughn here and look to induce an inning-ending double play. 1-0 count. Wind and the pitch, and Arkey Vaughn gets into this one. Deep to right, gone! Arkey Vaughn gives the Carolina Reapers a 2-0 advantage early in game 2 with a 361-foot home run. Noodles Hahn missed the location with this heater. Down 1-0 in the count, trying a little get-me-over action. This one caught too much of the plate, and Arkey Vaughn didn't miss it. Turns this one into a souvenir in the right center field bleachers. Reapers lead. We go bottom 4, another opportunity for the Reapers here to extend that lead. Noodles Hahn still on the hill, man on second, 1 away. Jason Kendall at the plate. Wind and the pitch, and Kendall crushes this one into the left center field gap. It's off the top of the wall, scoring easily as Arkey Vaughn. Jason Kendall to second, he's not stopping there. He'll head on over to third, he'll slide in there with an RBI triple. 3-0 Reapers. We go top 6. First chance here of the game for the White Tigers. Wade Boggs aboard at second, 1 away. Pete Rose at the plate. Now Eddie Plank still in this game, really coasting. He's in the 6th inning. He's given up only 2 hits. We can't see how many walks from this screen here, but seems to be having a great outing. Let's see if that changes here. 1-2 count. The pitch. Little blooper, and that ball will get down. Wade Boggs had to hold to make sure it'd get through, so he will have to hold there. Unable to score on the play. It's a little bloop single off the bat of Pete Rose to the opposite field. The BABIP monster striking Eddie Plank here in the 6th. The very next batter, Jackie Robinson here. Reapers looking for the double play to get out of the inning, while the White Tigers looking for their first score of the game. Outfield shifted over to the opposite field. The delivery from Plank. Grounder up the middle. Could be 2. To second, 1 on over to first. Double play. Arkey Vaughn to Jackie Robinson to Pete Rose. And this 6th inning is over. Unable to score are the White Tigers as they leave first and third, 1 out. Uncashed in. We now move all the way to the top of the 9th. We see that we've got an off-camera run for the Carolina Reapers. They now lead 5-0. Matt Morris is into this game as Eddie Plank has left without yielding any runs. And Morris is being tasked with the final out of this game right here. Matt Morris will face Jackie Robinson. Nobody on base with 2 away. Fans on their feet looking for this Game 2 victory, and they might just get it here. Ground to the third. Throw on over to first in time. The Carolina Reapers win Game 2 in a 5-0 washout. 5 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Reapers. 0 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the White Tigers. This series now all tied up at 1. As we will now shift play from Carolina, we will get on our airplanes and fly west and go to Las Vegas. Let's take a look at the box score. So we'll start with Eddie Plank. I said the thing to watch for with Eddie Plank was the base on balls. Now, he didn't have a stellar performance in that category. He walked 3 over 7 in the third, but was able to pitch around all that damage and do so with the ball in play. Eddie Plank did not strike out a soul. 7 in the third innings, 3 hits, 0 earned, 3 walks, 0 strikeouts. So very strong performance from Plank. Very good defense behind him as they gobbled up everything and were able to strand every runner that came aboard. Now, Matt Morris came on for 1 2/3 innings, did not give up a hit, struck out 1, was able to put this baby to bed. On the other side of the box score, the Las Vegas White Tigers, they had their Noodles Hahn go, and Noodles got hit around a bit. 11 base runners in 6 innings pitched for Noodles Hahn. 4 of them scored. Did give up the long ball to Arkey Vaughn that scored 2. Taking over for Noodles was Clayton Kershaw. He went 2, gave up another run, making it a 5-0 game. So now we're all tied at 1. We are heading to Las Vegas. We've got 18 minutes till the next sim, so we can play with data a little bit here. What we're going to do is we're going to check out the hitters and the pitchers from Perfect League and see who really stood out this week. We will start with the hitters. Let me make sure I'm in the correct year, so I'm giving you good data. Here we go. We toggle to 2039, which is the year that we're in right now, and we come back. Okay, and again, if you're on mobile, it might be a little hard to see. Any questions you have after the game, after the broadcast, feel free to ping me. I can certainly send you a more legible version of any of this data via screenshot. But as we look at the week here, we have a new week winner. So we've seen John McGraw win weeks. We've seen Arkey Vaughn win weeks. We've seen Pete Rose win weeks. Well, this week, this one goes to Cupid Childs. In 2,155 plate appearances, he produced the most offense with his bat of everyone within Perfect League, just edging out a small sample size Deacon White. Deacon White had only 710 plate appearances, but a very robust showing for him. Jackie Robinson right behind Deacon White. Actually, a very big number for Jackie Robinson. We've seen him living mostly in that 8 to 10 range. So 12.22 over 23,000 plate appearances is a big week for Jackie Robinson. That could be underscoring a shift from lefty cheese to more neutral ballparks this week. I ran the numbers as the week got underway and the stadiums got locked, and it was lefty slanted, but it was not significant this week. And you guys peeping my packs? 138 waiting for me. I need to sell some cards so I can open some packs. That's my problem right now. Moving on down the list, we had a very strong week from Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas, nearly 5,000 plate appearances and almost right at that 10 bat R metric, which is really when we're talking about impact bats in Perfect League. Behind him, we have Bobby Grich, Pete Rose. So Pete Rose, the other super sample size guy here, 25,000 plate appearances, the most in Perfect, and him at that 8.54 mark. Harry Heilman, Dave Winfield. You know, Dave Winfield became a personal favorite of mine. My Dave Winfield had one heck of a season. I think I got to share it. I got to share my Dave and brag on him a little bit. Here's Dave Winfield. So my first season with him, and Dave Winfield for me playing short side platoon. So when I say short side platoon, I'm talking about versus left-handed starting pitchers only. Wow, that was harder than it should have been to get out. And playing in right field. So he and Willie Keeler effectively splitting a job. And my Dave Winfield went 302, 370, 550 on the triple slash. Good for a 147 OPS plus. In basically halftime, putting up a metric of 2.3 WAR. So my Winfield just crazy. Now I would not label that performance sustainable or expected to be repeated, but we can enjoy it for what it was. An outlier week. Crusader fan with a good point. So 82 starts for Dave Winfield. This tells you just how left-handed Perfect League is. So in real baseball, if someone is a short side platoon guy, you're probably getting into 2 games every 5, maybe 2 games every 6, because left-handed starting pitchers aren't as prevalent as they are in Perfect League. In Perfect League, you're split in almost down the middle. About half right-handed pitchers, about half left-handed pitchers, and you see that illustrated with Winfield getting into exactly 82 games started here. I'm going to guess my Keeler is exactly 80. Let's check that out. So Keeler 93. So there must be some DH time sharing happening here as Keeler plus Winfield adds up to more than 162. B. Phil B. remembering my Winfield hitting a walk-off dinger against him. I instruct him to be meanest to Cardinals fans, so that fits in. That's good coaching right there. All right, so let's get back to the data here. I'm going to jump around to some positions. We've got 13 minutes before our Game 3 sim, so we'll check out some different positions, and we can slice and dice as we want. All right, so looking at the catcher position, now we've got Mike Piazza in this World Series. I called him out during the preview phase. He is the only catcher in Perfect that is hitting above league average. Now, a lot of people would say, who cares? Catcher is not where you get your bat, and to a large extent, they'd be correct. With catcher, we are so much more worried about their impact on our pitchers. We are worried about the catcher ERA. We are worried about the overall catcher ability on the card, with which there are many names on this list that are above Mike Piazza. Dickey, Crandall, McCarver. But Mike Piazza, the only catcher hitting above league average here, doing so at a 7.16 bat R. Now we've got Josh Gibson right around league average, Bill Dickey just below league average, and then from there we scale down with Crandall, Kendall, McCarver, and Mauer. As we split this and we focus in on the versus right split, we see that Dickey jumps to the top of the list. He goes from that -1 number to almost 9. So Bill Dickey, an excellent hitting catcher versus right. He's kind of giving you the best of both worlds. He is a strong hitter, against that strong side platoon. He is a strong defender every game. New Zealand breaks asking if Piazza's hitting well due to lefties. Now, lefties don't hurt, but as you look at this split screen right here, Piazza was above league average versus right as well. So he was at 4.15 versus right this week. Now, as we look at the other catchers beneath Dickey and Piazza, they're all varying degrees of horrible hitters. We have Gibson as the best of the bunch at -4, but McCarver, -15, Mauer, -19, Del Crandall, -28. So as Crandall is forced to face right-handed pitching, he really struggles. Now let's flip it and look at the versus left. We see Piazza approach 10, Crandall there at -4, so approaching league average for Crandall versus left, and then Dickey and McCarver with some very low numbers here. Bob Law asking about catcher ERA. I don't have this modeled on the screen here. So much of my visuals are for the pitcher hitter matchup for the World Series. So I don't pull in stuff like catcher ERA that the catcher hive mind or catcher defense hive mind wants to see. All right, let's switch positions. Let's go over to first base. And at first base, we see the leading bats here are Heilman, Thomas, Giambi. That Giambi card, one of the newer cards, got 4,000 plate appearances and was pretty good. 6.68 on the bat R. Pete Rose, for those who have him labeled as a first baseman, only 6 on the bat R, which is underperforming our global Pete Rose numbers. I wouldn't say there's any causality there. Bagwell above league average. Now getting into the guys that really struggled this week. We have Don Mattingly, who has actually been very good on these metrics many times. We see him all the way down at -8. That's surprising. We see Paul Molitor at -8 as well as George Sisler down at -12. So 3 guys that have more of that BABIP-driven profile, higher contact, lower power, higher avoid Ks, all struggling this week, while power guys like Thomas, Giambi, Bagwell, all having a bit more success. So we'll move on to second base. And at second base, we see our number 1 hitter of the week, Cupid Childs, outpacing Jackie Robinson by 6 runs with the bat. After Jackie, we have Gritch and Frisch. Frisch is my choice for a backup second baseman, and I've been very happy with him. I can share my long-running history with him. So I've done 4 seasons now with Frisch. Now this season he was even better than last, a 129 OPS plus for my Frankie Frisch this week. In only 123 plate appearances, he was able to log a full win above replacement. AAM Axel asking if people are platooning Thomas, and the answer is almost as certainly yes. Let me give you a definitive here. Actually, no. So Frank Thomas only coming in at 50% favorable at bats. So exactly half of his at bats are versus left, exactly half versus right. So there's some optimization that we could see with Frank Thomas and how he's been deployed. All right, let's move on to shortstop. At shortstop now, Arkey Vaughn is coming down a ton. Arkey Vaughn used to routinely be up in the 14, 15, 16 range for bat R, and he's down at 7.91 this week. Now, this is actually a decent opportunity for me to show off one of my new charts that I've got going. So let me pop in Arkey Vaughn. And so what you're seeing here are his numbers week to week. And we see that he's actually been more stable than I was thinking. Now, the WAR is down. The WAR has gone from being in the low 4s to being in the low 3s, which certainly is something. But the overall OBP slug only slightly decayed from his first full season, which was 2036. Going from a 355 OBP down to a 347. Going from a 427 slug down to a 416. So put the two together and you're losing about 20 points on your OPS. And you're losing about a win above replacement over the course of the season. So I've got both these decay tables for hitters and pitchers. So as we need to, we can toggle over and check them out. So other shortstops here, we have Tony Fernandez, who still fills a utility role for many teams, can even DH some. He's just below league average with the bat. We have Barry Larkin, who Barry Larkin's numbers are not quite as hot this week as they have been in weeks past. He's at -5 on the bat R. Dave Bancroft, -12. Pop Lloyd, one of my favorites, I say tongue-in-cheek, at -17. And then Andrelton Simmons, all the way down, -26. And then we'll go ahead and do the splits here because this is a position where you're really trying to optimize with those splits. So we look at versus right, Arkey Vaughn. This is where he really excels here. Arkey Vaughn at 17+ versus right-hand pitching. Exactly where you want to get him matched up. One of the best bats in the game if you can isolate just those right-handed plate appearances. Now let's see what's going on with Barry Larkin. So Barry Larkin, no. So T-Chuck asking if it was a bad fave percent for Barry this week. No. He was not hitting left-handed pitching. Now, we have historically seen Barry Larkin crush left-handed pitching, and it didn't happen this week. I don't know why. I can't claim to know why. But he was only at 2.87 bat R. Let's do that hitter decay table again on Barry and see if we can't figure out what's going on. Barry Larkin, let's isolate just his versus left plate appearances. Now, we're going to lose our conditional formatting, so hopefully your guys' screen is big enough to see what's going on here. But if you look at this number that I've got highlighted here, he was a 740 OPS versus left-hand pitching this week. And he was a 790 last week, which is a ton better. He was 822 the week before. So Barry Larkin, for one reason or another, experiencing some accelerated decay on his versus left production. Now, we're seeing this decay happen at the same time as an explosion in plate appearances. So Barry Larkin 2 seasons ago was at less than 1,200 plate appearances, and this season was almost at double that. So as Barry Larkin is being deployed more, he is producing less. I know that I had Barry Larkin right near the top of my lineup, expecting that 340, 350 OBP, and landing with something far less than it. Zozu theorizing that we're getting some better lefties. King Butcher on that same wavelength, same thought. Let's see if the versus right is any different. So the versus right kind of is all over the place. Now the sample size is a lot smaller because people are avoiding Barry Larkin facing right-hand pitching, so we're looking at samples just around 1,000 plate appearances per season. But we're looking at anywhere between 600 and 700 on the OPS. This season, not too dissimilar to last one, with an identical OBP and a nearly identical slug. All right, 3 minutes until we get back into the Sims here. We can finish our exploration around the infield. We'll go over to third base. And at third base, we see that John McGraw, head and shoulders above everyone else from a bat production perspective. He's at 12 on the bat R. Next closest is Arkey Vaughn at 3.36, as some people deploying him at third instead of at short. Now, behind Arkey Vaughn is Wade Boggs, who we have featured in this World Series. Behind him is Wander Franco, who has our highest plate appearance market share and is just over league average with the bat at sub 1. Behind Wander Franco, we've got a scattering of some small sample size guys here. Tony Fernandez, Paul Molitor, Ken Caminiti. I mean, we had a fire Caminiti that nearly buried Pidge about a month ago. We haven't seen Caminiti in the World Series since. And then Adrian Beltre rounding it out at the bottom. We can quickly sneak into the outfield here. We've got 2 minutes to spare. Let's go center field first. And in center field, we see that Paul Hines leading the way at 3.4, which isn't an elite metric by any means. He's not out there carrying offenses, but what he is doing is he's giving you above average offense, playing every day, while also giving you that same defense you came to expect with Oscar Charleston or Curt Flood or Ned Hanlon. That's what makes Paul Hines as valuable as he is. That combined with his rarity. So you have Hines above league average. You have Curt Flood just above it as well. Oscar Charleston down at -5. Ned Hanlon down at -6. And this is clearly a position that gets platooned as well because you've got 2 righties here, 2 lefties. We can look at that right now. So Ned Hanlon actually ahead of Oscar Charleston when we isolate just versus right-handed pitching at bats at -1.28 to Oscar Charleston's -1.75. And then we see that Hines is around -10 and Flood significantly worse than that at -25. And then when we flip the script and we just look at versus left-handed pitching, this is where Paul Hines really shines. We have Paul Hines here around 20 on the bat R in 1,100 plate appearances this week, with Curt Flood not too far behind him. Curt Flood at 13. So a very strong run production number behind Hines, but 6 runs is still 6 runs. We're looking at, with the bat alone, over a half a WAR right there. And then we'll combine left field and right field just so that we can get this done before the sim comes in. And as we look at our corners, we actually don't see a ton of outfield production. It's Pete Rose, and then it's a bunch of platoon guys. You've got Dave Winfield, who's one of my personal favorites. You've got Harry Heilman, who's going to give you that same versus left dominant bat without giving you quite as good a defense in a corner. And then you've got Slaughter at league average. Keeler actually below league average. I can't say that I can remember a time where Keeler was below league average on the whole. He's typically been in that 6 to 10 range. Perhaps he's playing too much every day. Perhaps he is just having a rough week. Let's isolate just the versus right plate appearances. And look at that, Keeler only at 1.01. So Keeler losing some of that versus right production for sure. All right, so that's going to conclude our little exploration around the diamond from a hitting perspective. If we get travel days between Game 5 and Game 6, we'll look at pitching. But for now, let's get back to our matchup analyzer, and let's get back to game number 3. No matter how much water I have for myself for these streams, I always run up. I really need to start getting 2 waters. All right, let's get this one started. So we have now shifted. We are no longer in Carolina. We are no longer in that lefty cheese park with those maxed gaps. We are now in Las Vegas. And the way that Las Vegas plays is neutral. Lefties and righties have the same experience here in this park. And it's a neutral park with the exception of home runs being brought down just a little. So we'll see if both pitching staffs are able to keep the ball in this ballpark here in these 3 games. Yep, definitely have some rain over here, Nick. I've got some loud thunder. I'm honestly concerned that I might get one of those Chris Jardine internet spikes here and lose the stream. But we've definitely got a lot of rain and a lot of thunder, so we'll see if we're able to keep this party a-rockin'. I'm surprised you guys could hear that through the microphone. All right, so we'll get this game started. Las Vegas throwing out Pedro Martinez, and he's going to face a lineup where 8 of the 9 hitters are going to face him batting left-handed. It's a tall task for Pedro. Let's see how he does. We start this one off. It's a ground ball to first. Easily played by Pete Rose. Touches the bag, and Game 3 is underway. We go top 3, our first real scoring opportunity here. We've got Cupid Childs on first base and Arkey Vaughn at the plate. Now, do note from both box scores here, from both lineup cards, we do not have any fire. We'll see if that changes as the series continues. Arkey Vaughn here batting with a full count. The pitch. Vaughn, little blooper. No one going to get there. That's a single. Childs around second. He'll stop there. A little bloop dink single for Arkey Vaughn. Now two on board, 1 away. Oscar Charleston steps in. He himself has worked a full count, so Pedro Martinez really having to work here in this 3rd inning. He's gone full with Arkey Vaughn, and now Oscar Charleston too. He's looking for a double play ball here. Hit at either Larkin or Robinson. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Pedro Martinez reaches back for old number 1 and able to blow this one right by Oscar Charleston for the second out of this inning. No fuss, no muss. Sent that one right down the pipe. A challenge pitch from Pedro, and Oscar Charleston was not up to it. We now go bottom 3, and the White Tigers have their first scoring opportunity. Tim Raines on third base, 1 away, and Pete Rose at the plate. 1-2 count on him. The wind and the pitch, and Pete Rose gets into one. Deep left center. It might be. It could be. It is. Pete Rose goes deep out to left center. 417 feet as the crow flies. Make it 2-0 White Tigers. Noodles Hahn ahead in the count, misses location on this heater, and Pete Rose made him pay. Fireworks in Vegas. And thunder. We go top 4 now. The Reapers looking to strike back. They've got the leadoff man board in the form of Wander Franco. And up at the plate is Pete Rose, full count. Pedro's third full count of this highlight machine. And he's going to lose Pete Rose here. That's going to be a no-out walk to Pete Rose. There's now going to be 2 out, nobody out for Willie Keeler. Keeler steps in. He's got a full count on him. 4th full count now we've seen from Pedro. The pitch. Line drive, base hit down the right field line. This one's going for extra. Scoring is Franco. Around third is Rose. He'll stop there. It's a RBI double for Willie Keeler. Puts the Reapers on the board and has them in position to tie this up, if not more. Now 1 away as Bill Dickey unable to have a productive out. John McGraw steps in. He's got a 2-2 count against Pedro here. We've got the infield drawn in. In addition to being drawn in, we've got the infield shifted over to the right side. Barry Larkin playing to the right of second base. Jackie Robinson playing at the midpoint between first and second, looking to cut down Pete Rose at home. Pete Rose not the fastest base runner, but a heady one, and could very well be going on contact here in the 4th. The pitch. Line drive, base hit up the middle. Scoring is Rose. Around third is Keeler. He's going to try to score, and he is out at home. Paul Hines comes up throwing and fires a strike to Mike Piazza, who applies the tag to Willie Keeler. Despite being one of the fastest and best base runners in this game, Keeler not able to outrun that throw. And the Reapers make the second out at home plate. Now they do tie the game in the process. We are tied 2-2. Advancing to second on that throw was John McGraw, so Cupid Childs will have an opportunity to give the Reapers the lead here in the 4th. Cupid Childs works a walk, and so now Arkey Vaughn has the opportunity to fall to him. Arkey Vaughn down on the count 0-2. Pedro winds, Pedro delivers, fly ball to left. Tim Raines stepping in, he'll make the grab. That'll end the inning, but not before the Carolina Reapers grab 2 runs and give us a new ball game as we head to the bottom of the 4th. We go top 8 now. Reapers back on the highlight machine, and Paul Hines leading this one off. He'll face Adam Wainwright, who is one of the White Tigers' key relievers this season. Adam Wainwright, around 90 innings pitched out of that bullpen. He'll go to work here against Hines with 1 away. Wind and the pitch. Line drive, left field, base hit. Paul Hines, a 1-out single. He'll take a big turn and retreat to first. And now the White Tigers having to play with a little fire on the base paths. Up next, Wander Franco. White Tigers looking for that double play ball. Wander Franco, a decent candidate for it. The pitch. Ground ball to first. Grabbed by Rose. He'll take it to the bag himself. does not fire down to second, so advancing to second is Hines. But now there's 2 outs here in the 8th. Pete Rose will bat. He'll face Adam Wainwright. He's got a full count. The Las Vegas White Tigers fans on their feet, hoping that Wainwright can get out of this jam, push this to the 8th inning, and give the home team an opportunity to give themselves a lead heading into the 9th. Wainwright comes set, delivers, line drive up the middle, base hit. Paul Hines around third. He's going to try to score. Here comes the throw from Hines. Not in time. Paul Hines outruns the throw from Paul Hines and gives the Carolina Reapers a 3-2 lead in this one here in the 8th. Dat 57 arm showing up here in the 8th. We go bottom 8. White Tigers have 6 outs to equalize this one. They're facing the Reapers' Adam Wainwright, who's got a nice little button nose here. And he'll face Arkey Vaughn to lead off this inning. Wainwright delivers, little grounder to second base, fielded by Childs, throw on over to first in time. 1 up and 1 down for the Reapers. Bottom 8 now. Next batter, Tim Raines. Wind and the pitch. And Raines gets into this one. Deep right center. It might be. It could be. It is. A home run for Tim Raines. It's going to tie up this ball game. 405 feet as the crow flies. A clutch home run. Hit off sinker baller Adam Wainwright. This one was a sinker that didn't sink. Hung up in the zone. Raines was able to get the barrel on it. And at 97 miles an hour, the physics was taken care of on the way in. We are now tied at 3. Next batter up, Wade Boggs. He's got himself ahead in the count, 3-1 here. Wainwright needs to be careful not to be gun-shy and continue doing what made him successful all season long. Peppering strikes into the zone. 3-1 count to Boggs, and he's going to lose him. That's ball 4. Go-ahead run now on the base paths for the White Tigers. Pete Rose now bats. 2 strikes on him. Strike 3 called. Adam Wainwright able to paint the outside corner with an off-speed pitch. Caught Rose by surprise as the bat was glued to his shoulder. Wainwright gets the call, gets the critical second out in this inning, and now is 1 out away from pushing this one to the top. 2-1 count on Jackie to do so. The pitch. Fly ball center. Paul Hines ranging in, should be played. He makes the grab, and that will end the inning. But not before the White Tigers tie it up. We are headed to the 9th. Carolina Reapers 3, Las Vegas White Tigers 3. Let's start off this 9th inning. We still have the White Tigers Wainwright in this ball game. He'll start off against Bill Dickey. We saw in the lead-up that Bill Dickey, a good hitting catcher versus right-handed pitching, and he crushes this one. Deep to center field. Back goes Hines. He makes the grab. Paul Hines at the wall, makes the grab, gets the first out of the inning, and a huge collective sigh of relief taking over Sin City as we speak. Now 2 outs in this inning. Wainwright behind Childs, 3-0. Wind and the pitch, and he's going to lose him. That's a 4-pitch walk of Cupid Childs. Arkey Vaughn due next. And here is Arkey Vaughn. Arkey Vaughn the head in the count, 1-0. That's 5 straight balls from Wainwright. Looking to harness that control in here and get this critical third out of the inning. Little blooper, center field. That ball will get down. Cupid Childs around second. He's not stopping there. He'll head into third, make it without a slide. And the Reapers in business here with a 2-out rally in the 9th. That brings up Oscar Charleston, and it's time for our matchup analyzer to tell us what's going to happen here. This is a huge moment in this game as Adam Wainwright faces a left-handed batter and Oscar Charleston faces a right-handed pitcher. We see it's pretty neutral on the breakdown here. Adam Wainwright about league average with his numbers. Oscar Charleston about league average with his. So we'll give the advantage to no one and see how it plays out on the field. 3-1 count. The pitch. Fly ball center field. Long run for Hines. Giving chase. Makes the grab. Paul Hines chases down the fly ball off the bat of Oscar Charleston. Puts the squeeze on it. Strands 2 runners and gives the Las Vegas White Tigers an opportunity to walk this one off in the bottom half. We go bottom 9. White Tigers, anyone can win it with a single swing. And that's got to be at least in the back of the minds of all these hitters as they walk up now. We've got Paul Hines stepping in the box here against Adam Wainwright. Wainwright has been in this game for quite some time now. We'll see how much longer the Reapers go with him. But he gets the strikeout here. Paul Hines tried to check his swing, couldn't, and is rung up here on this outside sinker at 96 miles an hour. 1 up and 1 down. Bill Dickey pinch hitting, unable to do anything, and up comes Mike Piazza with 2 outs and nobody on here against Pedro. So Adam Wainwright leaves this game. Into this game comes Pedro Martinez, the other much relied upon reliever of the Carolina Reapers. 98 innings pitched for Pedro Martinez this season. Wind and the pitch to Piazza, and he crushes this one deep to center, but makes the catch is Paul Hines. Able to range over, got a great jump on that one. Able to make the grab and end the inning. The Carolina Reapers set down the Tigers in order. We are heading to the 10th. So we will start off this 10th with the White Tiger Wainwright facing the Carolina Reaper, Paul Hines. Wainwright up in the count, 0-2, the pitch. Grounded to first. Going to be a tough play here. Pete Rose makes it. Takes it to the bag himself. 1 up and 1 down. And now 1 away for Wander Franco. He's got a full count on him. Wainwright rocks and delivers, and he lost him. Cutter on the curveball in the inner half does not get the call. Wander Franco will take his free base and represents the go-ahead run here in the 10th. Up comes Pete Rose. Now the Tigers looking for 2 here. Arkey Vaughn, Jackie Robinson cheating up the middle. Wainwright comes set. Delivers. Fly ball to left. Playable. In comes Tim Raines. He'll make the grab. It's going to be the second out of the inning. No advancement for Wander Franco. Now up Willie Keeler. Now we looked at his numbers before this game started. Doing less damage versus right-hand pitching than he had in recent weeks. We'll see if he can do some damage here. The pitch from Wainwright. Grounded to second. Easy pitch, easy catch for Jackie Robinson on over to Pete Rose. That's going to end the inning, and we will head to the 10th, the bottom of the 10th. Leading off this bottom of the 10th is Wander Franco. He'll face Pedro Martinez, who entered this one in the 9th inning. Wind and the pitch. Ball 4. That's a leadoff walk. White Tigers have the winning run on and nobody out. Arkey Vaughn, Tim Raines, Wade Boggs due up. Here's Arkey Vaughn. Winding the pitch, and there goes the runner. Franco trying to steal second. He is dead to rights. Bill Dickey catches this one, fires it off in a sub-second throw. And dead to rights at second is Wander Franco. You have to wonder if there was a case of missed signals here as Arkey Vaughn was taking the entire way. Wander Franco, not the best base stealer in the world, could have easily been a hit and run, but that's not what happened. This was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball pitched right down Main Street. Arkey Vaughn watches it, and dead meat at second base was Wander Franco on the excellent pitch and catch from Dickey on over to Arkey Vaughn. Now with 1 out, Vaughn has a full count. Wind and the pitch. Ball 4. So Pedro has now walked Franco and Vaughn. Because of the caught stealing, he only has to deal with 1 base runner on board now. but the command control issues for Pedro Martinez surfacing here in the 10th. Tim Raines will bat, 2-1 count on him. Into the game comes Matt Morris. The Reapers have seen enough of Pedro Martinez. They're going to turn this over to Morris. The pitch to Raines, and he flies this one to deep left center. Giving chase is Charleston. He makes the grab. That's the second out. Retreating to first is Vaughn. Raines didn't miss that one by much, but this one ends up being a can of corn fly ball to left field. Now, last hope in this 10th inning is Wade Boggs. He'll face Morris here with 2 away. Morris ahead in the count, 1-2. Another fly ball to left. Long run for Charleston. He will make the grab. Charleston running left and running right, making both catches in this inning. And it's going to push us to the 11th inning, tied at 3. We start off this 11th inning with the Wainwright for the White Tigers still in this ballgame. He's been in for quite some time. We'll look to see how many innings he's accrued in this one, but he's definitely going to start this 11th. He'll start out against Bill Dickey. Wind and the pitch, and Dickey loops this one to center. That ball's going to get down. It's a leadoff single for the Reapers. Just what the doctor ordered as they now flip their lineup card over and go McGraw, Childs, and Vaughn. Let's see if we see a pinch runner for Dickey here in the 11th. We do. Tim Raines comes in as a pinch runner and immediately steals second base. So Raines replaces Dickey, steals second base, and now John McGraw bats, nobody out, man in scoring position. Big time trouble here for the White Tigers. The pitch. Line drive, base hit right field. Around third is Raines, he'll hold there. It's a single for John McGraw. And now runners are at the corners, nobody out. And that White Tiger bullpen getting to work. I love the reference, a yordle named Leona. I love that reference. Does that mean we all get a free taco at Taco Bell after the Raines steal here in the World Series? So John McGraw now steals second base. So we had Raines, pinch run for Dickey. He stole second. John McGraw got a single, putting runners at the corners, and now he has stolen second. And now we've got second and third, nobody out. Cupid Childs at the plate. White Tigers playing with fire here in the 11th. Wainwright behind in the count here, 3-2 to Childs. The pitch. Line drive, base hit down the left field line. This will score a pair. The Reapers' Cupid Childs comes up huge here in this one. He has given the Reapers a 2-run lead in the 11th inning. Home crowd stunned here in the 11th. We go bottom 11. The White Tigers in danger of losing home field in this series unless they can rally for at least 2. They do have the top of their lineup. They'll go Rose, Robinson, Hines against the Reapers' Matt Morris. Let's start it off against Rose. Morris rocks and delivers, and this one is crushed in the left center field gap. Up and high off the wall goes Rose. That's going to be at least a double. He'll stop there. And Rose starts off this bottom of the 11th in fashion. That gets the White Tigers home crowd into it. And brings up Jackie Robinson. Jackie down on the count, 0-2. Now that ball gets away. A pass ball's going to move Rose on up to third base. And is the first ball to Jackie Robinson. Full count now for Jackie. Looking to get aboard. Looking to drive home Rose. The pitch. Checked his swing. Did he go? They appealed down to first. He did not. That's ball 4 for Jackie Robinson. The White Tigers now have the tying runs aboard. The potential winning run stepping into the batter's box in the form of Paul Hines. This 11th inning has gotten very interesting in a hurry. Morris to Hines here. Game on the line, game 3, and this one's lined into left field, a base hit. Rose scores easily. Robinson around second. He heads to third. Hines into second. He'll stop there. It's an RBI double for Hines. The White Tigers now 90 feet away from tying it, 180 feet away from walking off the thing. Still nobody out here in the 11th. Willie Keeler steps in, 2-2 count on him. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. An absolutely clutch strikeout from Matt Morris, able to locate this 97-mile-an-hour sinker just on the inner half where Keeler doesn't like it. Gets the swing, gets the miss, and gets the all-important first out of this inning. Now they can start thinking about lining up a potential double play to end this one where it stands. Mike Piazza into the batter's box now. Now, we saw before the game that Mike Piazza was the only catcher hitting above league average. Let's see if that comes to bear here. He's got a 3-1 advantage in the count against Morris. Morris rocks in, delivers, fly ball center field, could be a tag opportunity. Paul Hines is there. Tagging from third is Jackie. The catch is made. The throw home, they will not throw it. Scoring easily without a throw is Jackie Robinson. It makes it 5-5. The White Tigers have equalized this game despite falling behind 2 in the 11th. Now with an opportunity to walk it off is Wander Franco. Dish doesn't like Wander Franco. Wander Franco hit 3 ground ball double plays in the same game for Dish. But let's see if the White Tigers Franco has something bigger in store here. Any old single's going to walk this game off. Matt Morris comes set, delivers, line drive center field, tough run for Hines. He makes a sliding catch. Paul Hines saves the game for the Reapers. This was an absolute heat-seeking missile off the bat of Wander Franco, 109-mile-per-hour exit velocity, and with a beat on it was Hines. He ran to his right, he left his feet, made the grab, and single-handedly pushes this game to the 12th inning. What a play by Paul Hines. Now leading off this 12th for the Reapers, as the crowd catches their breath, is Wander Franco. He'll face Clayton Kershaw, who's now into this game for the White Tigers. Kershaw has Franco, Rose, and Keeler slated to face him. Wind and the pitch to Franco, and Franco bloops this one out to right. Should be playable. Fire Willie Keeler ranges over, makes the grab, and that's 1 up and 1 down. We now have 2 outs in the 12th, and Willie Keeler steps in against Kershaw. A tough matchup for Keeler. Keeler not meant to face left-handed pitching, especially stuff-heavy pitchers like Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw rocks and fires. Grounder up the middle. Going to be a tough play. Ranging on over and making the play is Arkey Vaughn. And that's 3 up, 3 down for a very quick 12th inning. Let's see if the White Tigers can build on their momentum, scratch across a run, and scratch across game 3. Bottom 12, we start off with Arkey Vaughn. Still in this game for the Reapers is Matt Morris. Morris has fallen behind in this one, 3-1 the pitch. Check swing, did he go? The umpire at third says no. And that's going to be a leadoff walk for Arkey Vaughn, so similar to the 11th, the White Tigers starting off this one with a leadoff man aboard. Now batting will be Tim Raines. 2-2 count on Raines, the pitch. Line drive center field, tough play. Hines ranging in, he will make the grab. Paul Hines is everywhere right now for the Carolina Reapers. He sprints in, makes that catch, retires Raines, and keeps Arkey Vaughn glued to first base for the time being. We now have Wade Boggs at the plate. Wade Boggs, a double play candidate, and that's exactly what Matt Morris is looking to do. The pitch to Boggs, fly ball center. Hines ranging in. He'll make the grab on this one. That's going to be a second out. Lineup now turns over, and Pete Rose bats. He's down on the count 0-2, but he's a gap double away from walking this one off. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Rose tried to check his swing. Home plate umpire calls it himself. and sends him to the bench. We will now head to 13. Here in top 13, we have Kershaw starting this one off against Jason Kendall. After Kendall will flip the lineup card over, and Kershaw's got 4 lefties lined up. A great matchup on paper for the White Tigers. Let's see what he does against Kendall here to start off this inning. 2-2 count. Wide and the pitch, and Kendall laces a single right up the middle, almost took off Kershaw's head. It's a leadoff single for Kendall, and gives the Reapers something to work with here in the 13th. McGraw will bat next. 1-1 count on him, the pitch. McGraw laces a single to center field. Around second, holding there is Kendall. First 2 batters up, first 2 batters on. White Tigers finding themselves in a pickle here. So pinch hitting for Cupid Childs is Jackie Robinson. Let's show you why. Let's show you why that would be. So first we'll look at Clayton Kershaw versus left. We'll look at Cupid Childs versus left. So this was the matchup that we were slated to get. We were slated to get Cupid Childs. We were slated to have Clayton Kershaw on the mound. So instead of this one, we have the Reapers pulling in Jackie Robinson. And so let's watch our bottom right shift from Cupid Childs versus left to Jackie Robinson versus left. We go from a lot of reds to a lot of greens. And let's go from Clayton Kershaw versus left to Clayton Kershaw versus right. We go from some light-colored greens to yellows and oranges. So a very favorable swap out for the Carolina Reapers. Could it be perfectly timed for them and give them a lead in this game? Wide and the pitch, and bunting is Jackie. Clayton Kershaw fields it. He throws it to first. He gets the out. But pinch bunting is Jackie Robinson. He moves up both runners to second and third and sets the table for Arkey Vaughn and Oscar Charleston. Arkey Vaughn will bat for himself. So Arkey Vaughn, not a hitter, not a lefty that can hit lefties. We'll show you the statistics here. Arkey Vaughn, 668 OPS versus them, but he has the opportunity to bat here with the infield drawn in, which will turn a 230 hitter into a 330 hitter. 1-2 count on him, fans on their feet, trying to encourage Kershaw to get that punch out here. Strikeout needed. Definitely need to avoid any kind of fly out to the outfield. We do have the infield drawn in. Everyone looking to make the play at the plate here. Jason Kendall, not a great runner at third base. 1-2 count, the pitch. Fly ball center field, well hit. Going back is Hines. He jumps and can't make the grab. 2-run score on the play. Stopping at second is Arkey Vaughn. A 2-run double for Arkey Vaughn breaks this game open. Make it 7-5 Reapers. And a ball that Hines just couldn't quite get to. We're still in the 13th. Arkey Vaughn has now worked his way on over to third. 90 feet away, the infield will be drawn in again. As Kershaw faces Charleston, the pitch to Charleston. He loops this one opposite field for a base hit. Scoring easily is Vaughn. Heading on into second is Oscar Charleston. And Clayton Kershaw, despite being better against left-handed batters, has really had his fair of trouble with them this inning. John McGraw, Arkey Vaughn, and Oscar Charleston have all reached. The only batter he's been able to retire was a Jackie Robinson pinch bunting. It's now 8-5. We've got 2 outs in the bottom of the 13th inning, so the White Tigers down to their last out here. They're now facing the Reapers copy of Clayton Kershaw. And they've got Willie Keeler up to try to start a rally. But again, it's not any Willie Keeler. It's fire Willie Keeler. Let's see if he can get something going here. Kershaw kicks, delivers. Keeler laces this one down the right field line for a base hit. Ticketed for extras. He'll end up at second base. Not going to take any chances on the base paths, needing 3 runs here. But he'll extend it at least a batter. It's going to bring up Mike Piazza, which is actually a pretty good matchup for a Clayton Kershaw. Let's see what he can do here. 2-2 count. Wide and the pitch. Fly ball center field, base hit. Mike Piazza with a 2-out single. Keeler will stop at third. No reason to take a chance. And that extends the inning for Wander Franco. Franco now bats. 2-2 count on him. White Tigers fans on their feet, looking for a miracle here in Game 3. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The Carolina Reapers win this one. Clayton Kershaw able to reach back for a little something extra. Take a look at the radar gun in the top left corner. You see fastball, you see 99 miles per hour. When the lights were the brightest and when the leverage was the highest, Clayton Kershaw reached back, found his best heater, and was able to blow this one by Wander Franco up in the zone. So the Reapers now take a 2-1 series lead. Yeah, because this game went 13 innings, we are way behind where we should be. So we probably have multiple games ready for us. So let's load them up. Detroit Fury saying the color guy's too chatty. I think he's on it. All right, let's go find Game 4 and get to it. There's Game 3. Here's Game 4. So with that win, the Carolina Reapers, they have pulled home field advantage back into their grasp. They have guaranteed themselves either to win it in Vegas or to force it back to Carolina. Depending on what happens in these next two games, they will look to push their advantage here, and they'll look to do so against Tim Hudson, who is starting for the Las Vegas White Tigers. Hudson starts this game off against John McGraw. Kick and fire, and John McGraw is going to start this one off with a base hit. John McGraw proving to be the thorn in the side of the Las Vegas White Tigers. Was trouble on the base paths last game, or trouble with the home plate, and starts Game 4 off in that same mold. A leadoff single for him. We'll see if the Reapers can make anything of this instant offense here in the first. The answer is no. We go to the third, still scoreless, but we do have a scoring opportunity here. We've got Bill Dickey, a slow base runner, also a tiring base runner at second, and Cupid Childs at the plate. 2-2 count on Cupid. Wind and the pitch. Line drive, base hit, right field. Giving chase is Heilman. He grabs it. He throws to the plate. Trying to score is Dickey. The throw, not in time. Bill Dickey slides around the Bill Dickey tag. Scores the first run in this one. Cupid Childs with a big fist pump at first base as he drives in the first run of this game off of Tim Hudson. 1-0 Reapers. We go top 5. Another highlight for the Reapers. The White Tigers still waiting for their first one in this one. We've got Bill Dickey aboard again. Bill Dickey able to flash the wheels earlier in this game, outrunning the Harry Heilman throw to home plate. We'll see if he has to test those legs again, those tiring legs. John McGraw at the plate. 1-1 count. Hudson still in this game here in the fifth. The pitch. Line drive down the left field line and fair. Bill Dickey will score easily. He can moonwalk home on this one, as that's an RBI double off the bat of John McGraw. Past a diving Wander Franco at third, doubling up the Reaper lead from 1 to 2. We now go bottom 7. We've got an off-camera run for the Carolina Reapers. We see the Reapers have 9 hits in this game compared to the White Tigers 1. It is time for the White Tiger offense to get in gear, and get in gear quickly. We see that they've got Barry Larkin aboard with nobody out here. Harry Heilman at the plate. Now, Harry Heilman, one of the best hitters in this game versus left-hand pitching. I will show you it right now. Look at that Christmas tree of green. An 855 OPS versus left-hand pitching. I'll look to tap into that now and give these White Tigers fans something to cheer about. 3-1 count. That's ball 4. White Tigers loading up the bases here. They've got first and second, nobody out. Arkey Vaughn, Bill Dickey, and Paul Hines due to hit. Against the Reapers, Tom Glavine. Arkey Vaughn will get the first crack at it, and these White Tigers fans are not sitting down. They are rooting for something to happen here. Glavin versus Vaughn, advantage to the pitcher, but let's see if Vaughn can come through. The pitch. Checks the swing. Did he go? No, that's ball 4. Now they really are loaded. Larkin, Heilman, Vaughn aboard. Coming to the plate is Bill Dickey. He will bat for himself. I thought there was a chance we'd see Mike Piazza in this spot as a pinch hitter. We do not. Bill Dickey will bat. He's got a 2-2 count on him. Now look at this Carolina Reaper defense. They are playing infield in. They want Larkin at the plate. They are not sitting back playing for 2. They are not conceding a run. They are playing for the out at home. 2-2 count, the pitch to Dickey. Strike 3 called. Dickey didn't like the call one bit, is beside himself, letting the home plate umpire know his feelings, but he'll have no choice but to turn around, head to the bench. The first out of this inning is now recorded, and bases are still loaded now with 1 away. Now up comes Paul Hines. A good matchup here for the White Tigers. Infield still in for the Reapers. Paul Hines ahead in this count, 3-1. Glavin comes set, delivers, and this ball's hit well to right field, but a diving catch in right by Keeler. Barry Larkin does tag, does score, but crisis averted for the Reapers. Willie Keeler had to go full extension in right to catch this missile off the bat of Hines. That would have cleared the bases. So the White Tigers get 1 run instead of potentially 3 if that ball finds pasture, but still are batting here in the 7th and are now on the scoreboard. Wander Franco, now the last hope for the White Tigers to really jump into this game. They've gone as far as they have in this inning without the benefit of a hit. We'll look to change that here with Franco. The pitch. Franco lines this one, base hit to left. Heilman around third. He's going to try to score. Here comes the throw. Not in time. Heilman scores around the tag of Bill Dickey. The Oscar Charleston throw from left was late and off target. And the White Tigers grab their second run in this game on the RBI single off the bat of Wander Franco. Next batter, Tim Raines. These White Tigers fans are on their feet. We got a full count, so we'll have the runners in motion on this one. Vaughn and Franco, if Raines can find a gap, he can find the White Tigers up 4-3. Glavin comes set, delivers, ball 4, Raines walks. Tommy Glavin hit 94 on the gun, but just missed the zone according to the home plate umpire. And that's going to load them up for Jackie Robinson. A very tough matchup here for Tom Glavin. Let's set it up for you. Look at Jackie Robinson versus left. A 786 OPS, driven primarily by that 363 OBP. A very tough customer versus left-hand pitching. Let's see what he can do here with his White Tigers trailing by 1. The pitch. Fly ball on the infield. Ranging over is Rose. There's Cupid Childs. Childs will call him off, make the grab. And the White Tigers, despite loading the bases, will strand 3. Now they do score 2 runs in the inning and tighten this one up to a 3-2 ball game. But the White Tigers were right on the cusp of tying this one up, if not more, and will need to do so later in the ball game. We go bottom 8, so the Reapers make no noise. Top 8, we go bottom 8. Wainwright into this game. He'll face Pete Rose and the top of the White Tigers lineup. 1-2 count. Wainwright rocks and fires. Swing and a miss for Rose. That's going to be a leadoff strikeout. Adam Wainwright able to pull the string on a changeup and had Pete Rose way out front swinging over the top of that one. An excellent pitch for the late inning reliever for the Carolina Reapers. Now with 1 away, Frankie Frisch is into this game. I don't know exactly whose spot he's taking, but Frankie Frisch is batting for someone. This could be hitting for Larkin. But full count on Frisch. Wind and the pitch. Little blooper. That's a single. Frankie Frisch reaches out to center field, finds some grass, and he's now the tying run aboard with one away. Harry Heilman will bat next. Harry Heilman, a deadly hitter versus left. Not quite the weapon versus right. He'll try to contribute here and also keep himself out of the double play. On deck is Arkey Vaughn, an absolute dominant versus right hitter. 3-1 count on Heilman. The pitch. Ball 4! Adam Wainwright misses up in the zone. He walks Heilman on 5 pitches and will now have to face Vaughn and Dickey. Let's see if the Reapers reach into that bullpen. They do not. Adam Wainwright will face Arkey Vaughn in what is a great matchup for the White Tigers, as the Adam Wainwright of the Reapers could be fatiguing here. The pitch. Fly ball right field. Ranging over is Keeler. He camps under it. He'll make the grab. Now tagging on the play, heading to third is Frisch. Holding it first is Heilman. That'll be 2 out. Now with 2 out, Bill Dickey is up. He's worked a full count. That means Heilman's going to get a head start on this one. Frankie Frisch waiting at third, hoping for some sort of base hit here to drive him in. The Tigers trail by 1 and have a primo scoring opportunity here to change that fact. Wainwright comes set, trying to grit his way through this inning. The pitch, ball 4! Just misses inside corner. Wainwright wanted the call, didn't get it, and now he's got to deal with a bases-loaded jam. And whale card Paul Hines coming up. 2-2 count on Hines. Las Vegas White Tigers faithful going nuts in the crowd. Wainwright comes set, delivers, swing and a miss, strike 3. Adam Wainwright buries a pile driver sinker low and into Hines. Hines unable to tip it, unable to get a piece of it. And for the second time in 2 innings, the White Tigers will strand the bags packed. Carolina Reapers dancing between raindrops here in the 8th. We go bottom 9, so the Reapers do not add top 9. The White Tigers, they have been flirting with that tying run now for 2 innings. Can they find it? Can they find the equalizer? Well, they will no longer have the opportunity to do it against a tiring Adam Wainwright. No, sir. Into this game comes Pedro Martinez, and he will be what's greeting Wander Franco in the bottom of this 9th inning. Pedro winds and delivers, and this ball's hit well. Hit well to right field. Back goes Keeler. He is able to make the grab at the warning track. A very well-hit ball from Wander. Did not get the lift needed to send this one into the seats, but did not miss it by much. Up comes Tim Raines. Tim Raines will now bat against Pedro Martinez. 1 out here in the 9th. Wind and the pitch. And Raines will send this one deep to left. Charleston ranging back. He looks up. He brings it in. Oscar Charleston steals what could be a home run at the lemon soda sign in straightaway left field. Tim Raines just misses, tying this one up. Holy cow. Holy cow. The White Tigers fans thought that was a tie ball game, and so did I. Charleston able to chase it down. A continuing theme in this series, the Reapers center and left field combo of Hines and Charleston making plays with the leather that make a difference. Now 2 outs in this one. Jackie Robinson, the last hope for the White Tigers. He'll bat here with nobody on. Pedro winds, delivers. Little blooper, left field and down. Jackie Robinson bloops a single to left center. Puts himself aboard. representing that tying run. Now, he is a good base runner. Will the White Tigers chance it? Could we see some movement on the base paths here in advance of Pete Rose? An excellent singles hitter. Here is Pete Rose. Robinson not moving on the first pitch. We'll see what happens here on the second. The pitch. Grounded to short. Picked by Arkey Vaughn to second, and it gets away! Cupid Childs drops the throw at second base. Jackie Robinson slides in safely, and this game, which was halfway done, which was all but over, continues for at least one more batter. They give the error to Arkey Vaughn here as Cupid Childs unable to handle it. And that's going to keep this game going for Frankie Frisch. And Frankie Frisch has worked himself a full count here. Jackie Robinson and Pete Rose will be off with the pitch. Any single will tie it. Many singles could win it, as Pete Rose will be off. Bill Campbell into this game to try to put out the fire. Bill Campbell's typically lighting more fires than putting them out, but we'll see what happens here. The pitch. Line drive up the middle. And through. And through. Arkey Vaughn unable to corral it. He did get his glove on it. He slowed it down so that it did not get into center field, but he was unable to field it cleanly. And as such, Frankie Frisch safe at first. Pete Rose safe at second. 2 consecutive plays where Arkey Vaughn unable to make them. And this game continues. Unbelievable. Now Harry Heilman to the plate. We'll use our matchup analyzer for this one. They don't get much more important than this at bat here. Bill Campbell versus right. Harry Heilman versus right. Advantage to the pitcher, especially in a neutral ballpark. Let's see what Harry has up his sleeve here. I just hit it at Arkey Vaughn if I'm him. 1-0 count, the pitch. Line drive left field, well hit. Sliding over and making the grab is Oscar Charleston. The Reapers win. The Reapers win. The Reapers win. Harry Heilman laced a liner to left. Oscar Charleston needed every bit of his 102 speed to get there. He leaves his feet. He makes the grab and saves the game. If that ball comes down, Robinson scores, Rose scores, and the White Tigers win. But Charleston wins it. The Reapers' outfield defense, again, coming up big in this one. Look at the 3 outs in this inning. We had a leadoff missile off the bat of Wander Franco that landed in the glove of Willie Keeler. We had the opposite field near home run that landed in the glove of Oscar Charleston. And then with everything on the line, following up 2 very difficult and very questionable plays from Arkey Vaughn at shortstop, Oscar Charleston reaches back into his bag of tricks and pulls out a web gem to end this one here in the bottom of the 9th. Fireworks for the Carolina Reapers, even though they're on the road. Holy cow, what a game. That win expectancy chart doesn't do it justice at all. Whew. As we look at the box score here, what do we see? So on the Vegas side, we had Tim Hudson with a quality start. Now, he did give up 12 base runners. 3 of them ended up coming in and scoring. We'll load up this next sim. So Hudson, quality start. Smokey Joe Wood came in and really locked it down from there. But on the other side, we had a Clayton Kershaw open to Tommy Glavine. So same side open follow. And then handed over to Wainwright, Martinez, and Campbell. Now Campbell was brought on when it was darkest. He was brought on with 2 on and 2 out. He gave up a single, but was able to get that final out courtesy of Oscar Charleston making a huge play out in left field. All right, let's go to game 5. Let us go to game 5. So the Perfect League World Series Championship Trophy is in the building for this one. As you can tell from your screen, the Reapers are up 3-1 in this one. Las Vegas in danger of dropping a third consecutive home game and finding themselves the bridesmaid of this week in Perfect League. But this game is far from over. We've got Cy Young pitching for the White Tigers. He's facing that same lineup that we've seen time and time again for the Reapers, that 8 left-handed batter lineup versus a right-handed starter. Paul Hines being the only righty. We'll see how Cy Young can fare against it. Full count on McGraw to start this one off. McGraw, an excellent eye at the plate. Loves working himself leadoff walks. Let's see if he's able to do it here on this payoff pitch. Wind and the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball to third. Wander Franco fields it, throws it in one motion, and that's 1 up and 1 down. Keeping McGraw off first, always a priority for the White Tigers, and they do so here successfully in Game 5. We go top 3. This time they have not done that successfully as McGraw is aboard, and Cy Young faces Cupid Childs. 1-0 count on him, 1 away the pitch. Childs ground ball out in front of the plate. Cy Young fields it. Throw on over to first. Not in time. Cy Young took too long to get to that ball, and when he got it, was not able to fire a strike on over to first. Was more of a knuckler or a changeup. And as the ball approached first, Cupid Childs able to beat that one out. This ball ended up in a little bit of no man's land out in front of home plate. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Carolina Reapers. Next batter, Arkey Vaughn. We showed you in between the travel here that Arkey Vaughn just feasts on right-hand pitching, and that's what he gets to face now. Ahead in the count, 0-1 the pitch. And that ball's hit well into the left center field gap. Giving chase is Hines. He'll have to play it on a hop. Scoring is McGraw. Cupid Childs around third. He's going to hold there. It's an RBI double off the bat of Arkey Vaughn. The Carolina Reapers up now in this one 1-0 and looking to add to it with the heart of the lineup batting and 2 aboard in scoring position. Here's Charleston, and aggressively we have the White Tigers going to that infield in defense, playing for the out at the plate, just down 1-0 here in the third. 2-2 count the pitch. Strike 3 called. Cy Young gets the call here, goes to the curve. Caught Charleston looking for something else. Drops it in the bucket, makes the call. 2 outs here in the third. And now 2 strikes on Paul Hines, an opportunity to get out of this one with only 1 run of damage. White Tigers fans behind Cy Young trying to get him through it now. Wind and the pitch, and that ball is laced into the right center field gap. It's going to score a pair. Paul Hines ends up at second base. A raw display of emotion there as he's given his Reapers a 3-0 lead in this one. And we're still here in the third. We go top 6. Another highlight for the Reapers, but that's not even the worst part for the White Tigers, because there have been not 1 but 2 off-camera runs. The White Tigers now trail 5-0, and they're not going to be able to do anything about that in this highlight here, as they are in the field. Mike Musina into this game. He is in relief of Cy Young, who did not have his best stuff today. He'll look to hold them where they're at as the White Tigers look to battle back. 2-2 count the pitch. And this ball is belted. You can forget about it. John McGraw nearly finds the second deck out in right center. And the Reapers push their already big lead to 7-0. And Warhawk is emoting in the chat. We go top 8, and Warhawk can't even buy a highlight right now. Still waiting on his first highlight of this game. He's not going to get it here, as we're in the 8th inning, and we've got another highlight for the Reapers. The White Tiger, Glavin, is into this one, and he's pitching to Bill Dickey here. Wind and the pitch. And Dickey gets into this one. deep right center field. Ding dong, that pitch is dead. Make it 8-0 Reapers. You could hear a pin drop here in Vegas. We go bottom 9, and the White Tigers have nobody out, but they have got the Herculean task of finding 8 runs before recording 3 outs. They'll look to do so against Jerry Royce here for the Reapers. One, and the pitch, and Keeler gets into one. I should have said it's not any Keeler, it's a fire Keeler, because he just fired that one into the right field bleachers. Breaks up the shutout, puts the White Tigers on the board, and gives them the smallest shot in the arm. Now 2 outs, 1 on, and Tim Hudson pitching to Paul Hines. The White Tigers 1 strike away from losing the World Series. The pitch. Strike 3 called! And the Carolina Reapers have won the 2039 Perfect League World Series. Fireworks in Vegas. Not our most dramatic series clinching game we've ever had on here, but an exclamation point for the Reapers, who, although dropping game 1 at home, then stack up 4 consecutive victories, 3 of them coming on the road. This series clinching one, a dominant 8-1 victory, out-hitting their opponents 14-3. Now, the funny thing is, Warhawk was a very good home team. Warhawk won 57% of his home games. But, the Carolina Reapers were the league's best, or one of the league's best road teams. 604 win percentage on the road for them, and they displayed every bit of that in these 3 games that happened in Las Vegas. As we look at the box score, we see that Vegas's arms just did not have what it took in this one. Cy Young, Derek Lowe, Mike Mussina, Tom Glavine, all meta arms, and all of them yielding runs in this one. And on the other side, we had a same-side starter, Johan Santana, into Jerry Royce, and both of them got the job done. Royce giving up only the 1 run, doing so on that solo home run in the 9th inning. So now the all-important thing. Who won 25,000 perfect points for filling out our very first inaugural Perfect League Bracket Challenge? Let's figure that out. So let's make the Carolina Reapers the winner of this series. Let's update our standings, and let's view them in live time. Oh, look at this. Look who's at the top of the standings. Why, it's none other than API 312. Let's check out what his bracket looked like. Wow, this is amazing. So he only got Carolina Reapers and Albany Senators right. He got literally everything else wrong. And yet he ends up taking it down as perhaps the one team that had the Reapers winning it all. M. Brown 0219, the only one who picked you, ends up a champion. You and API will be forever linked. He was the one that believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself if you filled out a bracket. Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, so if you want to be part of this next week, and again, API is going to get 25,000 perfect points. He didn't have to pay anything to enter. He didn't have to do anything other than fill out this bracket. So if you want to be part of that next week, you need to keep your eye on the Discord between Saturday night at midnight and Sunday morning at 11 a.m. That is the window with which you can complete a bracket. Once we know what our playoff slate looks like, I will build the bracket. I will post it to both the PT22 General channel. I will post it to the Perfect League channel. And then everyone who fills out a bracket can be eligible to win those juicy, juicy perfect points. If you have any questions about the bracket challenge, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. Or if you want to see any of the data that we were looking through today before we finished up. I know we didn't get to our pitchers, but hopefully through the matchup analyzer, you were able to see a lot of what tickled your fancy anyway. So that is going to do it for us, guys. Let's take... Oh, you know what? We didn't check MVP. We always check MVP, and that goes to the Arkey Vaughn of the Carolina Reapers. As we look at his series performance, we see a 391 average, a 739 slugging percentage, 9 hits in total in the series, including a homer and 5 RBI. A very worthy MVP in this one. So congratulations to the Carolina Reapers. Congratulations to the Las Vegas White Tigers for making it to this far. You came up short this time, but oftentimes that Perfect League World Series comes after a Perfect League World Series loss. So on behalf of Out of the Park, on behalf of Perfect League, on behalf of Perfect Team, I've been your host, DRC. This has been the 2039 Perfect League World Series. Be sure to join us next week for the 2040 Perfect League World Series, when we'll have a field of these 16 teams you see on your screen competing with the 24 Diamond League champions that are working their way up. So that is how the Perfect League field is made. It is the 16 returning playoff teams, and then one team from each of these Diamond Leagues you see on your screen here. The champion moves up to Perfect and has an opportunity to vie for this storied achievement of winning the Perfect League World Series. So thank you for being part of the broadcast. Thank you for interacting within the chat. Thank you for doing the bracket challenge. It came together literally overnight with a very tight window. We were able to get 22 teams in there. I hope next week we have a ton more than that, but we shall see. So this is DRC here, signing off. Everyone have a good night.